Right, so just got the brake caliper off here. Trying to keep the original brake pipes because they look all okay. So someone's put a new brake disc on it at some point, and the pads are also new, but it's just not worth trying to unseize those pistons. They're pretty seized, and the brake fluid stinks of gas. I don't know what's going on with that, but there we go. The old Classic is coming along. So there we go. We got one caliper on. We've done the other side. Like lovely rainy Normandy day. Alright, but we got it covered. Yeah, there's the new rear caliper on. It's all looking pretty good under here. There's a little bit of rust here, look. Just a tiny bit there. But the chassis and everything else, it's all looking good. I haven't put new discs on. They've got plenty of meat on them. They need a bit of a clean. But that should happen when we drive it. Alright, let's have a look. How we doing? How we doing this side, Pascal? C'est bon? There we go. Taking the old one off. Right, we've got new brakes on, we've bled the brakes, we've got a new master cylinder on. New master cylinder's on, bled all the brakes, putting the wheels back on now, and then tomorrow we can take it up and down the track. Right, okay, so we got all the brakes changed yesterday. Today, what's our challenge today? So where we've put the 2.5 VM in place of the 2.4 litre VM engine, one change is the water pump pulley is on a multi-groove belt, which I wanted to keep. Now, the engine, the 2.5 engine I bought came with the power steering pump with the pulley. So which is okay, but actually that's on a different belt. But the alternator was my problem. So the alternator, so I've got another pulley here, so that's the V groove, and we're going for this one. But the pulley I found lying around only had 4 grooves on it, so I had to file this square edge because it had a square edge like I've got on the front, on the back. So I've just filed that for now because I'm stuck in here in France, just to get the engine going, because I really want to get the water pump going to get it all going around. But other than that, we're all looking good today. I put a new rear hose on there. We got the front hose on. The front hose is different as well for the 2.5. But hopefully we'll have it going with water pump and we can drive it up and down the track. But it's a lovely day in France. Where have the cows gone? Where are the cows gone? They're around somewhere. Might have gone out in the field. Right, we have just moved the Range Rover. First time it's moved under its own power for a long time, but we had a little pool of oil. So we've just had a look, one of the oil cooler return pipes was loose. So we've just had to whoop the oil filter off because accessing that was a pain. But we just got that, put it all back together again, and then it's gonna go for a drive. So let's have a look at it. So it's actually moved, it's got its own brakes now, all the brakes work. So there she is in all her glory. We're going to give it a wash now, and let's see what it comes up like. As you can see, it's pretty like it's been left in a barn for too long. So we'll get that washed and we'll take it up and down the track. Let's give it a clean look. She's coming up like a gem. Look at that. What an absolute beauty she is. So get it clean so I can see where I'm going, and then we're up and down the track, which should be awesome. We've just gone to the insurance broker and we've got ourselves some insurance, and it's this card, this green card you need, this little bit here. So we've got it all insured and we've got a free parking permit. They love a bit of paperwork in France. I've got loads of bits of paper all stapled together. But it was a pretty reasonable 250 euros for a year classic car policy. So I'm happy with that. So, right, let's get back to the car. So in France, they have like the MOT station. They've got the control technique. So we are got the Range Rover going, and we're down the control technique. Just they could do it same day. So we just rung them up, and they're in. I can hear it. I can hear it in there. I think it might be in there somewhere. It's in there being tested. So let's see. It's developed a slight problem with the stop solenoid. We did take it out and clean it, but we've just got down here and it's not stopping. It's a bit temperamental, so I'll have to get a new solenoid. But let's see how we do. They're going to give us a certificate. When did you last see an MOT station with a toilet that clean? So there she is. She's being tested. The control technique. Now having a look. Doing the brake test. So we're driving back. It's failed the test. I've got to go through all the paperwork to work out why, but it's driving fine. Check it out, look at that. It's going sweet. Right, let's get back to the ranch and see what it's failed on. There we go, the Range Rover's back in the barn. We'll have a look at that tomorrow and see what's happening. Okay, so our week in France has come to an end. We failed the MOT, or the control technique, on a few minor issues. One of them was the back seat. We didn't have a back seat, and I've got this four-door back seat which seems to fit, and it all fits other than the locking mechanism. So I'm going to try and get the locking mechanism for the four-door, but all the other things seem to line up in it, and it's nearly the same colour. It's not quite. It's just a fraction of a shade out. One's a bit browner and one's a bit grey, but they're certainly the velour and they're split. So it looks like the four-door rear seats we can get to fit, and they all fold down and hinge down, so that's good. We failed on a bit of corrosion. We've got another problem where I need to look at the wiring diagram. It starts, so look, I've got all the original keys, look. Alright, and let's start it. Let me just check it's in neutral, but it won't stop. I've checked the solenoid. If I disconnect the wire to the solenoid, it'll stop. So here we go. So this is our rebuilt engine. Here goes. There we go. So he's a bit rattly, but to be fair, I think that's standard for the diesel. So there we go. Here we go. How many miles we got on the clock? And the rev counter works now. If I rev it up, there it goes. So we got 240,000 kilometers on the clock. It's all there. Right, and there's a bit of rust he wasn't happy with. So let's have a look under the bonnet. So the interior's all coming together. That's Pascal, who's been helping me, my neighbour this week. We've got to put the grill on. They didn't like no grill. So there's the engine. All doing his thing. Again, he didn't like that bit of rust there. And he didn't like my second battery missing. So we'll put the two batteries back in it. Now fix that bit of rust, put the grill on, sort the back seats out, and we're good. Now in France, you can actually drive your car without, if you failed the MOT, as long as it's not serious. So we've actually got insurance, and I'll put the clip up next of us going to get the insurance. So we're sort of nearly ready to go. We've got our green card in the window. Here we go, see, we're all ready to go. So there it is. That is our bargain French two-door Classic is now on the road. There you go, there's a better view. I was trying to get a better view of it. So that is our ex-French fire service Range Rover Classic up and running, and we can now do a bit more of a rolling restoration on it as we get time. So we are going to leave that behind in France for now, go and get the bits we need and come back and get our control technique. Nissan's doing a great job.